you guys, it's me Laura. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, ages 3, 8, and 11, and today I am going to share with you a resource that I created for our Middle Ages unit study. Now, I'm also going to be providing this resource to you for free. All you have to do is go over to my blog and download it, and it is yours. So something that you might not know about me, I think I've mentioned it on the channel before, but it is my dream, and it's always been my dream to create curriculum for families. Throughout the years, the focus of that curriculum has changed from time to time, and it is still my dream. To this day, I would love to create homeschool curriculum or curriculum for families to learn together and grow together, and it would just make my heart so happy. But the reality is right now I am spending so much time and energy and effort homeschooling my own kids and creating what they need that I don't have the time to make things polished, to create what I have pictured in my mind. So I'm taking this opportunity over the next few years as I am teaching my kids to learn as much as I possibly can so that when they're grown and not needing me to teach them anymore, maybe then I can create some really great curriculum with all the things that I've learned, and I'll have so much more knowledge behind me. But for this unit study, I was really hoping that I could give some really great planning guides for you guys and all sorts of great stuff so that you could create your own Middle Ages unit study, and it just didn't happen. However, I did create for my kids a PDF workbook with loads of fun activities that we really enjoyed in our homeschool. And it may not be the most polished, it may not come with the best instructions, and it may not be fully built out like I would like, but I figured I would go ahead and offer that resource to you guys for free anyway, because you could still use it and it could still be useful. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to my desk. I'm going to walk you through it on my computer instead of a printout because there's a lot of pages and I really wanted to make this a PDF. Some of these pages you don't need to print at all. Some of them you can print for a workbook style, so it's just really flexible to what you want. And one thing that I did with some of our pages was I printed them out on this like old style paper. It's just printer paper that I picked up from Amazon, and it kind of gave a little special look to the workbook. There's a lot of hands-on crafts and stuff, but there's also some notebooking type interactive flappy things involved as well that you could put on this kind of paper if you wanted to, but regular printer paper is fine. And there's also a nice cover that you can use to put in your 3-ring binder or to create a bound book when you're all done with all of the things that you guys have done. So let's go over to the desk and we will take a look at the PDF on my computer. Okay, you guys, here is the PDF, and as you can see, it is just a pretty typical PDF. So I have the cover page here that you can use, as well as this is something that I want to let you guys know that you're welcome to download and use, and you can share the link to my website for people to download, but please don't sell this resource, and please don't sell the direct link to the PDF. I'd like people to download it from my site just so that I can get an idea of how many people are using it and if it's something that is useful for them. So here at the beginning, I have a couple planning pages. Now, I did these with my kids. You can do them on your own, but they're just some things that I know about the Middle Ages, questions I have, and things I want to learn about, books to read, videos to watch, projects to make and do, and these pages are just to kind of help plan your unit study. Then I have a few pages like this throughout. So this one's about falconry in the Middle Ages. You can watch a YouTube video. I have QR codes throughout as well as clickable links, and I tried to create very easy to type links as well. So regardless of what your setup is, you should be good to go. And for this particular activity, the kids are going to draw a hawk. And then here I have a word list that goes with the following page where they can label the parts on the hawk. All of this is flexible. You guys can do what you want and leave what you want. There's nothing that has to be done in this. It's just kind of here as a resource for you. This is a little tab book that you can use for a notebooking style if you wanted to do a file folder or if you wanted to do pages in a notebook or whatever. But this is a resource on becoming a knight. So you would have the different parts of becoming a knight. You can see here, there's more of them. So you'd cut them all out, including the tab. You would write the age that a person would be, the duties they would have, and you can work to fill out your little book on the road to knighthood. Now, once you get to knighthood, you have a rules to knighthood. So here's the code of knighthood, and I've created this so that you can print these pages front and back and cut it out, and it'll create a book that you can attach to your folder or your lap book or whatever you're working on. I have a few of these focus on sections. So the way that these work, there's one for videos and there's also a matching one for books. You could use both, or you could pick one or the other, whatever fits for your family, but they have these topics in the different boxes up here. So your kids would pick one of the topics and watch a video on it, or read a book on that topic, and then fill out the form below and draw a picture from what they learned. I do have some of these blank ones available in this book, this blank forms with nothing written in, so you can do this with anything that you want. And also in the back I have a bunch of resources, and there's some videos included that you could watch to help fill out this form, to help do this. So all of that's included at the end. So here's the reading one. The order's a little bit different, but there's the same topics to pick from, and it's just reading instead. So whatever fits your family. So then we have a section of medieval armor, very much like the Falcons one. There's a video that they can watch. There's the word list here that goes with this knight page. So you can do this one of two ways. You could have them just fill in the parts of the armor here, or you can cut these out, and these explain what the different parts of the armor do, and then you can fold it over. Let's see, I can grab my son's. So you can either just write them straight in there, or you can cut those out, and I've fixed this. It was really light, but I've fixed the text now so that it's darker, but it explains what each piece of armor does, and you write the name here. So you can do it either way, depending on what you think would work best for your kids. And like I said, the list is here, and there's a website included. If you don't know all of this, it's totally fine. It just takes you to a page that explains it all and makes it super easy. Next we have this Feudal Pyramid, and you can do this really however you want. The way we did it was I printed, if you have a printer that will print front and back, you can print these pages these pages here, front and back. You don't necessarily have to do that, but we cut out the base. So we cut out the base here, and we use this kind of as a guide to see where to glue the parts. And then what we would do is we cut out these strips, and you can see how this is wrapped around the back there to kind of glue it down before we glued it to the page. And we have the different definitions there that go with the correct picture and have the feudal system there. So that is how that one works. It's a little confusing here, and I didn't have time to go back and make it more clear. I'm very sorry about that, but hopefully that helps you. So here's a Build My Armory. So this you cut out around the edge, and then you fold it on these dotted lines, and your students can fill their armory with whichever weapons they would like and match the definitions. So when this is done, it's going to look something like this, where they have the broadsword and it explains what the weapon is and what it's used for, and they can fold it out and build their armory. So that one's kind of fun. The kids had a lot of fun choosing. They didn't like not being able to have all the weapons, but having to choose which ones they felt were the most important, and that was kind of fun. So here we have Design Your Medieval Castle, and I've included a bunch of different ideas for ways that you can do that. And there's all sorts of links on castles and how they were built and what part they were in the resources at the end. Again, you have your word bank here, and this is a castle that you can color or label. We actually just talked about all the parts in the castle, but you can do whatever you would like. And this is an activity that we didn't do, so I didn't build it out as much as some of the others, but this is an activity for different people in the castles. So I have links here that will help you fill this out, but if you have a child who likes to write, or this just seems like a reasonable activity, you can go through and either print out pictures from the internet or have them draw pictures of the different people in the castle. So here's a place for their picture, and then here they can put a brief description or a few facts of what that person does or what they did, and you can go through and fill that out. So I have the Lord, Lady, Knight, Soldiers, Steward, Chamberlain, Cook, Jester, Gong Farmer, and then some blank ones as well, so that if they wanted to do some of their own, they could do that as well. This was super fun. So we learned about pottage, which was a regular recipe that everyday people would have in the Middle Ages. And here I have links about some of the fruits and vegetables and ingredients and things that they would have had available to put in their pottage, and I've listed some here as well. And I let the kids make up their own pottage recipe. We did the ingredients, and we wrote out the directions and rated our dish, and it was really fun, and actually it turned out super good, and I think this is going to be a recipe that we add to our regular repertoire. So there's that for you. We talked about the steps to joining a guild, so this is another interactive piece. You would cut this out and then cut the top piece out, and use a brad to fasten it in the middle, and then you can twirl it around and see what all the different positions are for or the steps to becoming a guild member for a trade in the Middle Ages. This is an activity to do stained glass windows for learning about cathedrals, and they had lots of beautiful stained glass. So for this activity, I picked 3 different options. So depending on the supplies that you have or which one looks more interesting to your children, you could totally pick which one of these you want to do. And there are QR codes for all of them, as well as fairly easy bit.ly codes that you can, I guess these are just YouTube links so that you can find what you need. And I also included on this page some cathedral music you can listen to while you're making your stained glass. These are patterns that you can use. For some of them, you're drawing out part of the stained glass. So I included some patterns that you can use to create the stained glass. You don't have to use these, but I know for some kids, it's easier if there's something to go on. Then I have another one of these focus on pages. This is religious life. So there's the watch it as well as the read it for those. These are mini books on the Crusades. So for each crusade, you're going to look at who was involved, when it happened, why it happened, and what the outcomes were for the different crusades. And these are something that you could include in a little lap book. So this is a page I meant to take out of this final draft and didn't. And honestly, I don't have time to go back and just take it out. I did not have a lot of information on the plague and Black Death and all of that, and I just ended up not spending as much time on it, so there's nothing there. So the last main activity is to plan a medieval feast. So I have it broken up into days for you for how you can plan your feast, and I have websites to help you understand videos and recipes and all sorts of things to also help. So you can plan a menu. This is for a 3-course meal. That would have been really small for a feast. Usually they were more, but that felt like 3 courses was enough. You could definitely do more, but I just have these planning sheets to help with that. For our feast, we decorated with coats of arms. So we learned about heraldry, and then we put our coats of arms all up, all around for the feast. And we planned our entertainment because they had entertainment between each course. So here's some information and some help with that. And then I've also included some extra worksheets, the blank focus in pages for both the books, whatever these you can use for your coat of arms. And then I just have a bunch of coloring pages here that you can use or not as you see fit. I also have some writing projects. I honestly did not go back and edit this. These were some things that I was writing when I was making this a really full-blown curriculum, but I thought I would include what I have just in case that might be helpful to you. And then back here is additional resources. So these are mostly videos, but there's websites and other things, and they are by topic. So there's general resources, the feudal system, castles. There's so many good things here on castles and more castle stuff, castle life, falconry. For some of them I've included books. I didn't have time to go in and do all that I wanted to. Sorry, my kitten's very loud. So then I've got knights and Vikings. Looks like more about Vikings. Famous knights and warriors, everyday food, clothing. And with all of this stuff, this is part of a unit study. So I will include the link to that full unit study, and I have the books and just all the resources that we used listed below, as well as the schedule. So you can see how we use this with our own unit study. We have feasting in the Middle Ages, books and printing, Robin Hood, cathedrals, religious art, religious life, more religious life, and then that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for checking out this resource, and I hope that you take advantage of it. Again, I'll put the link to my website in the description box below, and also be sure to keep your eyes open because in the next little bit here, I'm going to be releasing the video of our entire unit study, what we did. I'll have the lesson plans, and you can see how we incorporated this workbook into our personal unit study. So if you guys have any questions for me, let me know, and I hope that you're having a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.